This is your senior moment, and it's young living or assisted living. You can make your home a healthy home, and it all starts with you. All right, the senior moment. Here we go. Adaptation is the topic of the day, episode number 52. 1,250 push-ups so far to date, 630 this month, 930 is ago, 27,290 before we're done with this 3 or 1 year program. All right. Free market analysis, free product samples, free downloads, no free houses. Click on the link tree in the bio. Jump to areas that interest you. Adaptation is the topic of the day. Okay, kids. A couple of days ago, I was talking to you about the changes in our real estate industry. And I was talking about disruption, and I was reflecting on how there were new companies forming that didn't have a customer-centric mission, but were structured to take advantage of just the financial flow and activity in the transaction with no real benefit, or even thought of benefit for that matter, for the consumer. It made me wonder how the legacy companies like Coldwell Banker and others, who are really the backbone of the industry, were going to adapt to this disruption. Now, in my mind, it went to the bigger picture of adaptation in general. How does the ability to adapt impact us? Is adaptability a skill that we learn, or is it a mindset that we first must embrace? So that's a question that I just want to ponder today. Webster says that adaptation is the adjustment to environmental conditions, such as modification of an organism or its parts that make it more fit for existence under the conditions of its environment. So what does that mean? Now, that's a fairly Darwinistic, but I believe it kind of fits. One of my favorite things to do is to take a food recipe and adapt it to include our sauces, spice mix, or protein options from the Rack Shack barbecue, which of course is the best barbecue in North America. That is a simple example of adaptation. Now, we think of adaptation in 3 really different perspectives. The first one is behavioral. Think of this now. We see this played out in our political correctness, how we speak, what words we carefully choose to describe things and actions that we take. Now, these changes are mostly not permanent, but are blown by the winds, the ebb and flow of opinion in the news media, whatever the darling thought is of the day. Correct speak of 100 years ago is not correct speak of today. Correct speak of today won't be correct speak of 20 years from now. Then there's the physiological. Now, the physiological perspective says that there are processes, changes in how we accomplish tasks. So think of computers. The same or mostly the same information processed differently, faster, and more efficiently. This type of change requires capital investment and tends to be a little bit longer lasting, but not necessarily permanent. And I say not permanent because process changes are always happening because we look for efficiencies that can be employed and we look for inefficiencies that can be squeezed out. Now, then there are structural changes. And structural changes are the most bold and the most difficult. They require bottom-up thinking and reorganizations of thought on how goods and services are delivered. Now, Tesla, for example, did not buy an old automobile manufacturing facility and adapt it to their process. They built a new manufacturing structure from the ground up with that process in mind. Now, in our personal lives, just think of family structure. The traditional family structure has been expanded to include many different looks. Now, no matter what your political, religious, or social sensibilities, tell you, the family structure adaptation that we see now is perfectly aligned with the definition of adaptation. Now, another thing is flattening of the organizational charts. That's another manifestation of structural change. The need for faster and more responsive decision making. That makes the elimination of managerial layers a necessity. File clerks have been replaced by data entry personnel who have been replaced by point of sale processing. Think of the adaptations that have been made to accommodate the COVID response. Work from home, which a large percentage thought to be temporary, will become permanent. Layoffs, many who will never be recalled. And then, of course, you've got those who just could not adapt and simply close their doors permanently. So, is adaptation a skill that must be learned? I say yes, it is. Is it a mindset that you either have or you don't? Well, I say yes to that as well. However, it is a mindset that you can adopt and one that you will need if you are to survive in this brave new world. And that's your senior moment. Okay, so my gratefulness moment of the day is, what do you think? Bubble wrap. Bubble wrap. I love bubble wrap. Use it all the time. We ship sauces all over the country, and I always wrap the sauces in bubble wrap to keep the bottles from breaking. It's a premium sauce in glass bottles. We need to protect them, and we have been very fortunate because we've shipped, hundreds and hundreds of cases of sauce, and I think I've only had one bottle break, and it was my fault because I didn't put bubble wrap on the bottom, protect the bottle, so I had to send out a new bottle of sauce to the customer in Arizona. Okay, so let's do some, I gotta say, kind of nervous about the 40 thing, right? I keep talking about it. So this morning I thought, geez, I'm just gonna, or actually a couple of days ago, I thought, I'm just gonna do 40, see if I can do 40. So I tried doing 40 push-ups. I get to 35 and it's like, geez, this is hard. So then this morning I thought, dang it, why should that be so hard? So shift in mindset. I said to myself, well, what is 40? It's 2 sets of 20. And we've been talking about the goal is so many a day. And we know that we're going to have to go to different sets. We know we're going to do so many in the morning, maybe a couple at noon, maybe some at night, different sets. So I said, I'm just going to do 2 sets of 20 and see how that goes. It's just that I'm going to do them back to back. So I did set 1 of 20 and I did set 2 of 20. Easy peasy. So it's just like, what a stupid thing. But, I guess I'm a head case. All right, so let's do our sit-ups today. And then we can get on with our busy Saturday. Got a lot going on today. Ready? I'm going to do 2 sets of 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now, I could have added 5 to each one of those sets. So easy. And we'd be at 40. So now I'm all excited about September because it's going to be so easy peasy. All right. Remember, the older you get, the longer you want to live. I'm Keith Hittner Sr., and this has been your senior moment, and we'll see you tomorrow.